is growing concern this hour over the safety of truck drivers in the country. Last week, several trucks were set alight on major roads in and around Gauteng and Kwazulu-Natal. It's reported that some drivers were injured after shots were fired. The latest attack last night at Wadeville in Germiston here in Gauteng. Reporters Manqoba and Mchunu and Thuba Vilane have been keeping track of these attacks. We're going to start with Manqoba in Gauteng at the City Deep truck stop. Manqoba, good afternoon to you. The latest situation on the ground, what have you determined, and perhaps more importantly, what are drivers telling you?
Well, Jerry, most of the drivers that we've spoken to here saying that they fear for their lives. We did speak to one foreign truck driver who did indicate to us that he's actually been stuck here at the City Deep truck stop for the past 2 days, fearing that if he could leave here, he could also be attacked. We do know, of course, that there have been several of those attacks here in Gauteng. 15 trucks set alight on Thursday, and yesterday, police also confirming, Jeremy, earlier on that about 3 trucks were set alight here in Gauteng alone, and of those 3 trucks we do understand that one of the drivers has died and that another one is in hospital. Police saying that they are investigating a case of murder and attempted murder as well as malicious damage to property. So we did try to speak to some of the truck drivers, and of course they are saying that they do not want to appear on camera for the fact that they fear that their lives could be jeopardized if at all. They are identified by some of those truck drivers who they say are on strike. So one of them telling us that in fact he even fears getting out of this particular place. But let's take a listen, Jeremy, to what exactly he had to say.
Very much scared. I was supposed to leave like 2 days back. I'm still parked here. I haven't moved because of the same happenings. At some reasons, we're trying to reason with them drivers of here saying there's a strike. You do not move because of stations. I haven't moved, but it's a foreigner truck.
And Manqoba, what are South African drivers telling you?
Well, Jeremy, many of the South African drivers that you spoke to saying that they do, however, understand the violence that is happening. They're saying that these are issues that are long-standing and that they've been really raising with government on the issue of the employment of foreign nationals. Because you remember, Jeremy, this started as early as July this year, where we saw the members of the Old Truck Drivers Foundation taking to the streets, accusing these road freight companies of hiring foreign nationals over South Africans. And so they're saying that government has simply failed to address this issue. And therefore, they say the only way that government will seem to understand is if there is violence that takes place. So they are, however, condemning the violent aspect of it and the fact that people have died. But they're saying that they do understand and they think that this is justified. Let's take a listen to what one of the drivers had to say.
It's not xenophobic. We are friends with foreigners, but what we are fighting is clear. During these lockdowns, many companies are busy retrenching South Africans. I can mention 2 companies. There is one in Denmark, Spiros. That company has retrenched 39 South Africans, but it left a lot of foreigners. What does that mean? There's another one in Niger, Renard Transport, has retrenched more than 50 South Africans. What does that mean? He left foreigners behind. We're supposed to start with foreigners if there is a real problem. But this issue we are seeing is war against South Africans. That's why South Africans are fighting today. And that company is registered another company in Mozambique, but they are coming and load here in South Africa, chrome to Mozambique. What does it mean? It means that they don't want to help South Africa. They want just to benefit on the South African economy.
All right, that's the perspective then in Gauteng, but it's also a problem at the other end of the country. Let me take you live now to Durban. Thuba Vilane, reporter there, is working that story for us. Thuba, good afternoon to you. Obviously, the N3 is a major route between Durban Port and Johannesburg. What have you determined today? What is the situation?
Yes, Jeremy, we've been to different areas around Durban. In the morning, we started at Maran Hill Toll Plaza, where we understand that over the weekend, especially on Sunday, police had to come on and turn back some of the trucks. But I can confirm today that there were no serious issues that were reported on the N3, especially on the side of KZN, except the incident that were reported in Gauteng and Free State. But the general concern is the same among all local truck drivers. We spoke to one gentleman who's a truck driver as well as representing the organization called All Truck Drivers Foundation. And what they are saying is that they feel like they've been let down by the South African government. They voted this government hoping that they will be benefiting in terms of job opportunities. But instead, it looks like foreigners are the ones that are getting more support and being looked after by the government. They are saying that now, when they start to protest, it's only when you will see government and law enforcement standing up. But when they raise their issues, no one listened to them. This guy that we spoke to, he told us that early in the year, in February, he had an accident, but now he can't get any assistance. Let's listen to him explaining. His name is Ndlovu.
The employers in South Africa, the whites and the Indians that are owning the trucks, we cannot hire that. The minority is the one that are benefiting the fruit of the freedom of South Africa. But the majority of black South Africans who put government in power, they are like dogs. No one is care about what is happening. That's the true story that is happening. Even I myself, I can tell you, as you see, I'm using the crashes now. I had an accident on the 24th of February this year. I was working for a company named Outback Truckers. That company, you got no basic salary, you got no UIF, you don't even contribute the tax. And that company, you don't have even what you call a UIF. Even now, I'm crippled now. I was fractured both here on top and here on the neck of the hip. Even now, I tried so many ways to speak to my boss. I need the IOD, the injured on duty. Even now, today, he duck and diving, he ran away. He can't even answer my calls.
So it's patently obvious to see that truck drivers are anxious, scared, in many cases disgruntled.